There's an article in the Miami Herald. So there's a woman who's a manager, and she refused to serve 5 black men in this Chipotle. She asked them to prove they had the money to pay for their meals before placing their orders. And then they fired this woman. They suggested that this woman had treated the customers wrongly. The footage had been retweeted more than 52,000 times. It showed the Chipotle employees in St. Paul, Minnesota, moving on to serve a white woman without asking her to show proof of income. Chipotle said, "This is not how we treat our customers. We're committed to treating everyone equally and with respect. The manager has been terminated, and we are retraining everyone at the restaurant to ensure something like this doesn't happen again." Well, then it turns out that that's not the whole story. Shock of shocks, that is not the whole story at all. Here's the updated story. Chipotle is rethinking its initial decision of firing one of its managers after a video posted Friday on Twitter showed employees refusing to serve 5 black men and asking them to prove they had the money to pay for their meals. Quote, "Our actions were based on the facts known to us immediately after the incident," said the company. "We now have additional information, which needs to be investigated further. We want to do the right thing, so after further investigation, we'll retrain and rehire if the facts warrant it." What exactly changed? Well, it turns out that the men who went in there to eat had a long history on Twitter of bragging about dining and dashing, eating without paying. Hey, hours after the video went viral, Twitter users began to scour this guy's Twitter page, and they posted photos of some of his previous tweets. Here's what he wrote in 2015, quote, "Dine and dash is forever interesting." March 27th, 2015, "Guys, we're borrowing food. That's it. And if the lady tries to stop you at the door, don't hesitate to truck the bleep out of that bitch." Another post, "Guys," and there are a bunch of these. He said, "We're not doing a dine and dash. We're just borrowing the food. That's all." So it turns out the manager knew these people, and the manager wanted them to pay for their food. But because of the intersectional ideal, we were supposed to ignore all of the other facts, at least until further notice. And then it turns out when the facts come out, oops. So instead of just asking the question beforehand, like, why didn't they just ask her, right? They could have just said to the manager, "Why did you do that?" And she would have said, "Oh, because these guys have been known to eat the food and leave without paying." It's an amazing thing. But the assumption on the left is that if they don't get their way, then this is because someone has violated the intersectional ideal. Kirsten Powers is now playing this game. Kirsten used to be a much more rational human when it came to politics, no longer. Here she is on CNN claiming that white women are violating their own identities as white women by voting for President Trump.
And they'll say, "Well, I'm not racist. I just voted for him because, I didn't like Hillary Clinton." And I just want to say that that doesn't make you not racist. It actually makes you racist. If you support somebody who does racist things, that makes you racist. So I just want to establish that.
So it makes you racist not to support a white woman. As a white woman, it makes you racist because, again, intersectionality. This sort of idea that unfairness can always be justified by reference to the patriarchy and to the hierarchies of power is quite disgusting. And again, at least it's a pretty horrible result.